100 piece shut down होतो नहीं दरकार नहीं 100 piece आनो तो Good morning. Let's start the Delhi current affairs discussion. So to start with the first topic is the undersea tunnel to save the mangroves. So mangroves are very important ecosystem, a special type of forest called the mangrove forest. And in this bullet train project to be constructed between Maharashtra and Gujarat, so substantial a small patch of mangrove forests are coming on the route. That's why a 7-kilometer long undersea tunnel will be constructed for the bullet train project in a bid to save mangrove forest in Maharashtra's Thane Creek. Okay. Okay. So to save the mangrove forest, so 7-kilometer long undersea tunnel will be constructed in route to the bullet train project. That's a very prospective decision taken by the government because so mangrove forests are very difficult to create, regenerate, and to protect them is the most important responsibility that government can take, and government has taken the responsibility, and for which to save the mangrove forest in the Thane Creek, the government plan to go for a 7-kilometer long under water tunnel for this high speed rail project. So a 7-kilometer undersea tunnel will be constructed for the bullet train project in a bid to save mangrove forest in the Maharashtra's Thane Creek. The tunnel will be a single tube tunnel to accommodate both ups and down trucks. The tunnel construction is aimed towards conserving nearly 12 hectares of mangroves in the creek. The tunnel will ensure the protection of the bird sanctuary and mangrove around the creek, the Thane Creek. Challenges: the undersea tunnel will escalate the construction cost of the Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail corridor project, 21-kilometer long, stretch from Bandra Kurla complex station to Silpata, from 100 crore to 10,000, and only mere 100 crore to 10,000 crore. So see the cost calculation. So from mere 100 crore to 10,000 crore will be the cost escalation, because the underwater tunnel will be part of this project. So the cost has multiplied by, so from 100 to 10,000. Okay, means 10,000 times escalation of the cost. Fine. The Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail corridor is an under construction high-speed rail line connecting India's economic hub Mumbai with the city of Ahmedabad. The total length of the corridor is 508 km, of which 156 km of construction will be Maharashtra. It is slated to cut the shuttle time between Mumbai and Ahmedabad from over 6 hours to between 2 to 2.5 hours. Moral: mangroves. Mangroves are small trees and shrubs which grow along the coastlines. These trees thrive in salty water and form unique forests on the edge of land and the sea. They also grow in swamps. Features: these forests have the ability to store up to 10 times more carbon per hectare than terrestrial forest. Mangrove forest can survive extreme weather conditions and a good habitat to many marine creatures. That their specialization. Distribution: globally, mangrove are distributed in the tropical and subtropical regions of the world and are found in 123 countries. Asia has the largest coverage of the world's mangrove, followed by Africa, North and Central America, Oceania, and South America. Approximately 75% of the world's mangrove forests are found in just 15 countries. And fortunately, India is one of the major mangrove habitation country. Okay, so India contributes nearly half of the total mangrove cover in South Asia. West Bengal has the highest percentage mangrove cover in India. Sundarban in West Bengal, spread over Sundarban, West Bengal, and Bangladesh, is the largest mangrove forest in the world. It is followed by Gujarat and Andaman and Nicobar Island. Maharashtra, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Goa, and Kerala to mangroves, and Odisha, so that Bhitarkanika mangroves are famous mangrove cover in Odisha. Okay, the Bhitarkanika mangrove. Okay, so significance natural defense with notable adaptive features. Mangrove are natural armed forces of tropical and subtropical nations. Mangrove thickets maintain waste quality by filtering pollutants and trapping sediments originating from land. Checking global temperature, mangrove's unique ability to capture and store carbon is increasingly catching the attention of the world, which is desperately looking for a way to keep global temperature in check. Fighting against climate change, they are the best option to fight against consequences of climate change, such as sea level rise and increasing frequency of natural calamities like cyclones and storm surges. Maintain ecology, mangrove ecosystem at home are home to a variety of fish. Mangrove are also important source of timber and fuel when properly done in that way. Okay. Major threats, developmental projects, coastal development, including construction of steam farms, hotels, and other structures. Okay. So the conversion of land, mangrove forests are cleared to make rooms for agricultural land and human settlement. Exploitation in India, Sundarban, salination, pollution of pressure, and over-exploitation are the primary threat to mangrove and the area's biodiversity. Indirect threat to mangrove includes change in sedimentation, rates and patterns, rising sea level, and increase in pollutants. And these are often exacerbated by human actions. Scientists estimate that at least one third of the mangrove forest has been lost due to the last decade. One third forest. Okay, so the indirect threat to mangrove includes change in sedimentation, rates and patterns, rising sea levels, and increase in pollutants, and these are Increasing pollution, they are often exacerbated by human actions. Scientists estimate that at least one third of the mangrove forest have been lost in the last few decades. One third lost in last few decades. Government initiative to mangrove protection, conservation and management of mangroves and the coral reefs. The promotional measures are being implemented through central sector schemes under the National Clean Mission Coastal Mission Program. Okay. Conservation and management of mangroves and coral reefs. Under this program, the annual management action plan for the conservation of management of mangrove is formulated, implemented in all the coastal states and union territories. Magical Mangrove Campaign, the worldwide fund for nature, and the India has enjoyed citizen in 9 states, which includes Maharashtra, Goa, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Odisha, West Bengal, and Karnataka on mangrove conservation through the Magical Mangrove. Okay. India had enjoyed citizens in 9 states that includes Maharashtra, Goa, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Odisha, West Bengal, and Karnataka on mangrove conservation through the Magical Mangrove Campaign. Fine. And the Misty program has been launched recently. So the budget, this year's budget, the government of India has launched the Misty program, Misty program for that mangrove conservation. And Odisha is very much benefited for mangrove conservation because the fishbone model of mangrove conservation in Odisha has been highly appreciated. Okay. Scheme for conservation. The government under centrally sponsored scheme for conservation of management of the mangrove extent assistance to coastal states in and territory for the implementation of action plans including survey and demarcation, alteration and supplementary livelihood protection measures and education and awareness activities. MISTI, the Union budget for 23-24 announced an initiative for mangrove plantation along the coast and on salt pan land. Under the MISTI Mangrove Initiative for Shoreline Habitats and Tangible Incomes, MISTI will be implemented through convergence between the Manrega, the Kampa fund and other sources. Government. Okay, the MISTI program declared in the budget is going to be a very revolutionary scheme for the protection of the mangroves and expansion. Okay, then the next topic is about the Ladakh and the sixth schedule. Okay, recently the Minister of Home Affairs constituted a high power committee for the Union Territory of Ladakh to ensure protection of land and employment for the people of Ladakh. The Minister of Home Affairs informed a parliamentary standing committee recently that the objective for inclusion of. Okay, the Minister of Home Affairs informed. Okay, okay. The Ministry of Home Affairs informed a Parliamentary Standing Committee recently that the objective for inclusion of tribal population in the sixth schedule is to ensure their overall socio-economic development, with the Union Territory Administration has already been taking care of, and that sufficient funds are being provided to Ladakh to meet its overall developmental requirements. Sonam Wangchuk wanted to draw attention to Ladakh's fragile ecology and to include the region in the sixth schedule of the Constitution. Fine, the MP. It is estimated that more than 90% of the Ladakh population is tribal. The primary scheduled tribe ST in Ladakh are the Balti Deda, Beda, Bot or Boto, uh, Burkapa, Changpa, Gara, Mon, and Purigappa. Thereby, several distinct culture and heritage of this community in Ladakh region needs to be preserved and promoted. Ladakh was established as a union territory of India on 31st October 2019 by the Jammu Kashmir Reorganization Act. Prior to that, it was part of the Jammu and Kashmir state. Ladakh is both the largest and the second least populous union territory of India. Fine. With the sixth schedule, about the sixth schedule, it protects tribal population and provides autonomy to the community through creation of autonomous development councils that can frame law on land, public health, agriculture, and others. As of now, 10 autonomous councils exist in Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. These special provisions is provided under Article 244.2 and Article 275, 275.1 of the Constitution. Article 244. Okay. The sixth schedule under the Article 244 provides for the formation of autonomous administrative divisions, autonomous district council that have some legislative, judicial, and administrative authority within a state. Key provisions: the governor is empowered to organize and reorganize the autonomous district if there are different tribes in an autonomous district. The governor can divide the district into several autonomous regions. Fine. Then each autonomous council has a district council consisting of 30 members, of whom 4 are nominated by the governor and the remaining 26 are elected on the basis of adult franchise. The elected members hold office for a term of 5 years unless the council is dissolved earlier. And the nominated members hold office during the pleasure of the governor. District Council. Each autonomous district has a district council consisting of 30 members, of whom 4 are nominated by the governor and the remaining 26 are elected on the basis of adult franchise. The elected members hold office for a term of 5 years unless the council is dissolved earlier, and the nominated members hold office during the pleasure of the governor. Each autonomous region also has a separate regional council. Power of the council. The district and the regional council administer the areas under their jurisdiction. They can make law on certain specified matters like land, forest, canal water, city cultivation, village administration, the inheritance of property, marriage and divorce, social customs, and so on. But all such law require the assent of the governor. Fine. So all the law made by the council must be approved by the governor. They can constitute village council or court for trial of suits and cases between the tribes. They hear appeal from them. The jurisdiction of the High Court over these suits and cases is specified by the governor. The district council can establish, construct or manage primary schools, dispensaries, market, ferries, fisheries, roads and so on in the district. They are empowered to access and collect the land revenue and to impose certain specified taxes. Why does Ladakh want to be part of the 6th schedule? Tribal population, according to the 2011 census, the tribal population in Union Territory of Ladakh is 79.61% of the total population. Local aspirations, there are much enthusiasm initially, mostly in Leh, after the repeal of the 370, which created two new Union territories, but it has been died down. Negligence in erstwhile Jammu Kashmir states, Buddhist dominated Leh districts had long demanded Union territory status because it felt neglected by the erstwhile state government. Denied legislature, the enthusiasm went as it was understood that while the UT of Jammu Kashmir could have a legislature, the UT of Ladakh would not. So it will be totally on the central role. Inadequate representation, the administration of the region is now completely in the hands of the bureaucrats with only one MP. New domicile criteria. The change domicile policy in Jammu Kashmir has raised fears in the region about its own land, employment, demography, and cultural identity because outsiders are allowed to settle in Jammu Kashmir, and that is apprehended that the ethical composition may change. Okay. So, the change domicile policy in Jammu Kashmir has raised fears in the region about its own land, employment, demography, and the cultural identity. State to demand a coalition of social, religious, and political representatives in Leh and Kargil are demanding full statehood for Ladakh. Okay, like the separation of Jammu and Kashmir, the Ladakh want a separate state, and because government is right now again trying to merge the two to make a state. Okay, so okay. So, cultural significance of Ladakh. Ladakh is historically perceived as a cosmopolitan region with the centuries of multiple cultural settings. Okay. It was an Asian pivot. The people here traversed diverse cultural boundary and engaged with ideas. Can Ladakh be included in the sixth schedule? NCST recommends. The National Council of Scheduled Tribes recommend the September 2019 National Commission for Scheduled Tribe recommended the inclusion of Ladakh under the sixth schedule. District culture. It is predominantly tribal. More than 97 people from the other parts of the country have been restricted from purchasing or acquiring land here, and the district's cultural heritage needs preservation. Because no, these tribal people have their own distinct culture and identity, and if outsiders are allowed to venture and there is a unrestricted entry of the outsiders. Okay, in this region, the uniqueness of the region will be severely hampered by this. Okay, this is what is a big issue. Then the next topic that is for discussion today is the International Day of Women and Girl in Science. Okay, celebrated every year on February 11th, the International Day of Women and Girl in Science is observed by the United Nations to promote the full and equal access and the participation of women in science, technology and engineering and mathematics. STEM. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics. It is implemented by UNESCO and UN Women in collaboration institutions and civil society partners that aims to promote women and girls in science. It will be the 8th International Day of Women and Girls in Science and Tech. Theme of ideas: innovate, demonstrate, elevate, advance, and sustain. The aim is to build a bridge between the international community and women in science by linking their knowledge and expertise and its application in the systematic, critical way for the 2030 agenda and its 17 global goals. On March 14, 2011, the Commission for the Status of Women adopted a report that aimed to encourage the participation of women and girls in education, training, and science and technology. This year, the aim is to connect the international community to women and girls in science, strengthening the ties between science, policy, and society for okay. This year, the aim is to connect the international community to women and girls in science, strengthening the ties between science and policy and society for strategic oriented towards the future. The United Nations will showcase best practices, strategies, applied solutions in addressing the SDG challenges and opportunities. It will also include a science workshop for blind girls, a session from the blind fellow scientist on science in barely uh, making science accessible. This workshop and session will be held for the first time. So government around the world, including United Nations, have been trying to promote the girl, child and women in the core domain of science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and some program has been launched in this domain. The next news about the small satellite launch vehicle. And India has made the entry few months back, and the next small satellite launch vehicle is being planned to be launched. The second developmental flight of the small satellite launch vehicle SSLV D2 will place the Indian Space Research Organization Earth Observation Satellite EOS-07 and two co-passenger satellites Janus 1 and Adansat 2 developed by startup in a 450 km circular orbit around the Earth. About the vehicle, the SSLV D2 was developed to capture the emerging small and micro satellite commercial market with launches offered on demand. The rocket can be assembled by a small team okay, of technocrats, okay, technicians, okay, in only few days compared to 6 months and around 600 people. It takes for ISRO workers, the PSLV, the ISRO's most trusted launch vehicle, the PSLV, and it takes nearly 6 months and around 600 people to create this satellite, the launch vehicle. But this SSLV takes few person and very few days to create it. The launch vehicle uses three solid stages followed by a liquid fuel based velocity trimming module to place satellite in orbit. Okay. Then there was a satellite that will carry Janus 1, is a technology demonstrator satellite built by United States based Antarish and its Indian partner HD Links and Ananta Technologies. Okay. Janus 1 is a technology demonstration satellite built by United States-based Antarish and its Indian partner XD Links and Ananta Technologies. Janus 1, which weighs only 10.2 kg, is a 6-unit cube satellite with 5 payload on board. Sat 2 is a satellite by the Space Kids India, which will carry 75 small experiments weighing 10 grams like camera, microcontroller, various sensors, etc. These experiments were used to teach students how space system work and to promote STEM, science, technology, engineering and mathematics education. 6 months is its expected mission life. The payloads have been built by 750 girl students from across India. The satellite will carry the G20's logo to space and the NCC song to celebrate 75 years of the organization. Fine. The next topic is the Buru refugees. Okay, so over 14,000 of the Buru tribes displaced from Mizoram have been registered to vote in Tripura since the rehabilitation process began in 2021. About the Bruj uh, also referred to as the Ryangs, the tribal community indigenous to northeast India. They have historically resided in parts of Mizoram, Tripura, and Assam. In the state of Tripura, the Brus are a designated particularly vulnerable tribal group. A particularly vulnerable tribal group or PVTG is a sub-classification of scheduled tribes or sections of the scheduled tribe that is considered more vulnerable than a regular scheduled tribe. Issue faced by the Bruj, most Bruj residing in Tripura have suffered more than 2 decades of internal displacement, fleeing ethnic persecution, primarily from the neighboring states of Mizoram. In 1995, the Young Mizo Association and the Mizo Students Association demanded that Bruj be eliminated from Mizoram's electoral rolls as they were not indigenous inhabitants. Being ethnically distinct from the majority Mizos, the Bruj are often referred to as Bhai in the state, meaning outsiders or non-Mijos. Tensions escalated and the Ryangs migrated from Mizoram to neighboring Tripura in 1997. Today, roughly 35,000 Ryangs continue to reside in north of Tripura, Kanchapura camp as refugee. So from their own place to Mizoram. All Bru centrally living in the temporary relief camp in Tripura will be settled in the set if they want to stay on. That's a government policy. The Bru who returned to Mizoram in the 8th phase of repatriation since 2009 cannot come back to Tripura. To ascertain the numbers of those who will be settled, a fresh survey and physical verification of Bru family living in the relief camp will be carried out. The center will implement a special development projects for the settled brew. This will be in coordination or addition to the 600 crore funds announced for the process, including benefits of the migrants. Each settlement and settled family will get 0.03 acres of land, 1.5 ganda of land for building a home, 1.5 lakhs in housing assistance, 4 lakh as a one-time cash benefit for sustenance. They'll also receive a monthly allowance of 5,000 and free ration for 2 years from the date of settlement. All cash assistance will be through direct benefit transfer. The state government will expedite the opening of bank accounts and the issuance of Aadhaar card, permanent resident certificates, ST certificates, and voter identity cards to the beneficiaries. So the central government plan can be implemented and they can be rehabilitated. दस 10-15 मिनट लगे 15 मिनट Okay. So, to what extent did the trade policy trade play a role in disseminating Indian culture abroad in ancient time? Illustrate. Fine. Okay. So, India established trade relations with outside world since as early as during the Indus Valley civilization. The third millennium Okay. Okay. In the third millennium BC, spread of Indian culture through trade has been called as remarkable because it did not involve forceful imposition of culture or violence, rather was voluntary adopted between the parties. Okay, because okay, so role played by a trade in disseminating Indian culture abroad in ancient times in the following manner. So, strategic location of India and vicinity near the ancient Silk Route gave India the advantage of being a center for cultural admixture. Kuchi, a kingdom in Central Asia, witnessed flourishing of Indian culture. The trading of silk, jade, or horse was accompanied with transmission of Indian culture in the form of ancient stupas, temples, monasteries, painting, and images found there. So, all these. Okay, so then Khotan, another ancient trading center, contained ancient coins bearing Prakriti text in Kharosthi script, Sanskrit manuscripts, and Buddhist text. Traders from Kosi, Mathura, Ujjain, Pataliputra, and port city of uh, Mamalapuram, Kuberipatnam, and Puri traveled extensively in Southeast Asia in search of trade opportunities, especially to Indonesia, Java, Malaya, Sumatra, and Cambodia. So, it's the ancient trade links. Indonesia and surrounding regions came to be known as Suvarnadipa as traders traveled in search of gold there. Indonesia housed many Shivite and Vaishnavite temples. Mahabharata and Ramayana also became quite popular over there, which was later represented in the form of the wine puppetry. Similarly, Malaysia too adopted Ramayana and Jataka stories in their folklores. Brahmi script was modified and adopted a script of Malaysia in ancient times. The Hindu temples and Buddhist sculptures were also found in Cambodia and Vietnam. The temple of the Angkor Wat in Cambodia is the largest Hindu temple in the world. Trader of Kalinga established cultural links. Okay, traders of Kalinga established cultural link with Sri Lanka and helped in disseminating Buddhist culture. Apart from Southeast Asia, travelers like Suleiman al-Masudi, Ibn Hakal, and al-Irdis attend the flourishing trade relations of India with the Arab world. Fine. So, Arab traders took home astronomical and mathematical treatises by Aryabhat and Baramira. So merchant from South India traded with Roman Empire in terms of items like pepper, betel, spices, scent, and precious stones. The Tamil kings even employed the Avanaj people built Ocean Asia and the Mediterranean as guards. The Avanaj settled in parts like Kaveri, Putnam, and observed Indian culture as well, spread their culture with the indigenous people. Other factors that led to spread of Indian culture abroad in ancient times includes the universities are the most important center of cultural interaction. They attract large number of students and scholars. Students and teachers from such university carried Indian culture abroad along with its knowledge and enlightenment. So Nalanda, Vallabhi, Vikramasila and Udantapuri universities were quite active in cultural transmission. The Chinese pilgrim Xuan Sang has given ample information about his visit to Nalanda and Vallabhi universities. Along with the Silk Route, okay, almost include there are resting places for monks and missionaries, for pilgrims and merchants, and later this becomes famous center of Buddhist learning. These monasteries and resting places like Khotam, present-day China, transmitted religion, philosophy, hidden beliefs, languages and literature, and art and culture. Indian rulers like King Ashoka made great efforts to propagate Buddhism outside India. He sent his son Mahendra and daughter Sanghamitra to Sri Lanka to spread the message of the Buddha. Okay. Cultural exchanges was a two-way process with India adopting foreign culture such as cooking style, apparels. Okay. Sakaja and Kushanas introduced turbans, tunics, and trousers coined by Indo-Greek and the Sul. The exchange of culture between India and outside world helped in diversification and development of many cultural aspects like language, food, religion, architecture, styles, and so on. So cultural interaction, okay. So the relation between the two sides improve with interaction. So cultural interaction led to the development of the transfer of rich cultures from one side to the other. Okay, this helps in uh, enriching each other. Okay, So moving to the MCQs. Current the following statement, India may soon be self-sufficient due to inferred lithium deposit found in Jammu Kashmir. Okay, lithium discovered in Jammu Kashmir, so high confidence in terms of quality, grade, and minerals. So for this, so only option, both the options are right. Okay, so because huge reserve of that lithium is discovered in Jammu Kashmir, it will change the scenario in the country. So the following element is periodic table. Okay, so are not considered a rare earth material. So it is lithium is not considered. Then consider the following statement. Recently, joint exercise called Tarax was conducted between India and UK. It is not correct. It aims to develop preparedness against the threat of chemical and biological threats. Okay, so this is right. So two is right. Then consider the following statement. Satish Dhawan Space Center is only spaceport of India. It is located in the coast of Odisha. Okay, so here only from where the satellites are launched. But we have a rocket testing center at Thiruvananthapuram in the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. But most of the satellites are launched from Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota. So it is in Andhra Pradesh, not in Odisha. Fine. So only one is correct. Then five. It is the system of appointment and transfer of judge made by an act of parliament, the collegium system. The Supreme Court Collegium are headed by the Chief Justice of India and comprise four other senior most judges. High Court Collegium are chaired by led by the Chief Justice and four other senior most judges of the High Court. Here, which are correct. So it is made by the three judge. That is by judgment, not by the that parliament. So two and three are correct, not one. One is wrong. So the second judge case, these were the things. Identity and correct statement in context of Nord Stream pipeline. Before Ukraine war, Nord Stream was Russia's biggest gas pipeline to Europe. It is right. Okay. Nord Stream pipelines made more than half of the energy needs of Europe before the Ukraine war starts. They supplied. It's not true. Only one is correct. Then identify the correct statement context of the slow small satellite launch vehicle SLV D2. It has been launched after the successful test of SSLV D1. Okay, SSLV D1 was not fully successful; it's partially successful. There are two satellites on board. Okay, it will have okay. So three satellites, multiple satellites are there. It will be placed satellite to the low Earth orbit, LEO's orbit will be right. Three is right only. Fugitive emissions, a term is sometimes seen in news, are related to the following: natural emission caused in active volcanoes, unintended leakage of gas from the industrial activity is called the fugitive emission. Right, 2B is the right. Then which of the following scheme is dedicated to public health infrastructure? Okay, so it is that PM Aveen. Okay, so this is what. And Keladi civilization was recently seen in news. It is associated with Tamil Nadu. So friends, your topic is over. So watch every day to update yourself on the developments at a regular basis. That will definitely update you about the issues.